SpongeX here, and what was I thinking with my Season 1 review? When Tiny Toons Looniversity first aired late last year, I said it was a decent reboot and that it was better than the Animaniacs reboot, but boy was I so wrong. I was too generous with Season 1. I was hoping maybe the show would get better as it went along, but it's just getting more stale and more predictable. Who is this show for? Why is it rated TV PG? It feels more childish than the original series. The original series was basically a bunch of teenage Looney Tunes successors going to high school and getting into wacky adventures with great pop culture references and humor throughout. Meanwhile, the reboot is about them going to college. Yet, how come the show with the older cast feels way too sanitized and much slower paced? The first show was lightning fast with witty dialogue and unapologetic cartoon violence. The reboot feels as bad as the Powerpuff Girls reboot. In the reboot, the characters talk too slowly as if they think their target audience is too stupid to understand them. This is a show about young adults going to college, yet they act more childish than their younger counterparts from the original show. Nearly every episode has a forced-in moment where a character has to slowly apologize to everyone for something they did, or robotically saying how they should have considered the other's feelings before they all hug and make up. It is so sappy and forced. Season 2 only has 5 new episodes and a double-length Spring Break episode, and it is nothing like the original Spring Break special, which was a lot more fun and humorous. Long story short, it's Spring Break. Buster and Babs are going back to suck up to their mom, and they want to sing with her in a talent show because the writers either don't know how to write for college students or this garbage was written by AI. Plucky gets ditched by his parents, so he sneaks into Buster and Babs' luggage. Babs and Buster's family adores Plucky, and the two get jealous. Babs and Buster try faking being sick, only to feel bad for lying to their mom, only for the mom to reveal to Plucky that she knew they were faking it the whole time out of jealousy. Babs and Buster apologize to their mom and Plucky, and they join their mom in a stupid musical number. Other side plots involved Hampton and Sweetie falling asleep on a bus and ending up in the Klondike, followed by a jungle. The two get into an argument and get their body swapped by Shirley. Once the two apologize to each other, they return back to normal, and there's another subplot with Yosemite Sam missing the students. This was such a boring and unfunny waste of 44 minutes. The only okay-ish episode in this batch of new episodes was the first one, where it brings back Elmyra Duff, with Cree Summer reprising the role. Ironic, the worst character of the original show made for one of the better episodes of this season, but it still wasn't that great. Just like everyone else in the show, Elmyra was drastically neutered. Her original gimmick was that she literally loved animals to death, but now she's just an obsessed animal photographer. The premise itself sounded like it had dark comedy potential. Imagine if it was a spoof of Misery, like the Sonic Boom episode. Biggest fan. But what we got was a lot less funny and a lot less chaotic. The episode opens up with the gang adventuring to the city of Acme Acres. Well, finally, an episode off the school grounds. Babs is obsessed with taking pictures of everyone and everything, and Plucky gets offended by a caricature drawing someone drew of him. Elmyra gets a call from her boss that they're sick of pictures of nothing but cats and dogs and want other animals. As soon as Elmyra sees Babs, her animal admiration kicks in and she wants Babs to be her model. Elmyra lures Babs to pose for her at the studio when Elmyra points out that none of Babs' pictures have pictures of herself in them. Buster and the gang track down Babs and Elmyra lures them to be models as well. The episode feels like it's trying to make the animals trapped by Elmyra, but I don't recall them being locked in or chained up or anything. Nothing is preventing them from just getting up and leaving. We get a sappy apology of Babs' friends saying that they should have been considerate of taking pictures of her. When was this ever an issue in the episode? They make it sound like her friends were in the wrong, but they did absolutely nothing wrong. They weren't asking Babs to take their pictures all day long. She was obsessively taking them herself. A continuous trend we'll be seeing in this reboot. Episodes ending with these phoned-in, slow apologies that have nothing to do with the episode. They feel like they belong in a preschooler show. The ending was kind of funny, though, where the gang realized that Elmyra won't leave them alone unless they find someone full of themselves who will want their pictures taken nonstop. So they trick the egotistical Plucky to stay behind as they leave. In a funny twist, Plucky's demands for photo perfection drives Elmyra crazy, and she ends up kicking him out. Admittedly, it was kind of funny to see Elmyra get annoyed for once, but other than that, an overall forgettable episode. Episode 2 is about Picture Day with too many subplots. Bab gains a sentient zit and wants to get rid of it. Didn't the Animaniacs reboot already do this plot with Dot? Except at least that one was a musical short and had a funny payoff, where this is the majority of a 22-minute episode. Babs borrows a box of inventions from Wile E. Coyote to get rid of the Zit. She tries shrinking cream, but it manages to shrink herself as well, and she and the Zit have to team up and get over their differences to get to the growth cream to unshrink themselves. Meanwhile, Sweetie gives Buster makeovers, but oh no, Buster is having trouble confessing that he doesn't like them. And Hampton tries acting like a spoiled celebrity with a makeover he received. This episode just has a bunch of forced and stupid apologies throughout. Episode 3, Babs is feeling out of character depression because she's homesick or something. Buster and pals drag her onto an adventure into space with Marvin the Martian as they fight off alien invaders, and Buster apologizes to Babs for trying to make her happy and said he should have just left her to feel sad. Wow, that is a horrible lesson about trying to help people with depression. There are many times where people with depression were left alone. They were feeling ignored, and so what do? They end up killing themselves. Yet this show tries making a sappy moment where Buster said they should have just left her alone. That is stupid. Episode 4, Buster and Babs go to a twin convention and feel like misfits because they're not identical. Despite how the show gives them no distinct personalities whatsoever, this reboot just keeps reminding me of how butchered these characters keep getting over their superior originals. Also, I still can't stand the idiotic decision to make Buster and Babs siblings in this reboot. It is just disgusting, and it gets worse with every new episode they make as they keep hammering it in over and over that they're related. Episode 5, Buster, Hampton, and Plucky get invited into a secret club led by Arnold the Pitbull in disguise. Yeah, they try hiding it, but seriously, I knew it right from the beginning, both from like the color of his arms and the voice. It was so brain dead obvious. Meanwhile, Babs and Sweetie open their own club where everyone is invited. Buster and pals find out their final test to become secret club members is to humiliate their best friend. Buster chooses not to humiliate his sister and instead leaks all the secrets of the secret club to the public and joins Babs' club. Man, this reboot is terrible. Say what you will about how inferior the Animaniacs reboot was to the original, but at least it showed some respect in trying to recapture the charm of the original, even if it fell short a lot of the times. It had the original voice cast, it still had musical numbers that matched the spirit of the original, and it still had its meta jokes and adult innuendos. The Tiny Toons reboot has just more annoying characters. The characters' voices just sound slower and just more annoying. Like, Hampton's new voice got really grating with his accent and all that. I don't know, it just doesn't work. The characters lack the lunacy of both their original selves and even the Looney Tunes themselves. The writing is terribly cookie-cutter, sappy, and way too safe. The original show might have had some sappy moments, but when they happened, they felt earned. The show mostly focused on comedy and breaking the fourth wall, but when it took the time to show that it can still have a heart, it came as a surprise. This reboot has no surprises. Its writing is not funny, and it relies too much on sappy apologies, along with plots getting resolved with no real conflicts or story to tell. The only good thing I have to say about the reboot is that the animation is overall decent, but good animation alone does not make up for how butchered this reboot is. I wish Max would just add the original Tiny Toons to their lineup instead, or at least have Hulu renew its license to bring it back, but I don't see that happening, especially with David Zaslav's cruel treatment towards anything animated. The only bright side to David Zaslav's reign of terror is that maybe he'll cancel this Tiny Toons Looniversity show without any more episodes to be released. If so, I'm fine with that. The show is dead to me now. It's just, I don't see it getting any better. There's just no way they can make up for all the stupid decisions they made. A part of me wouldn't mind if they tried rebooting it again, but I'm just done with this version of Tiny Toons. Maybe someday we'll get one that's more respectful to the original, but I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. Makes me think of better days, back when shows were allowed to be unapologetically funny.
And going? Shoot her. Just shoot her.
Well, that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and have a great day.